Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another match of Cat Young Cup. We are back for round 6, and we've got yet another match down in the losers bracket to kickstart this weekend. C27 against C48, it's ManiaDegengod against ZerkXU. ZerkXU came out of a tiebreaker from the last weekend, whereas ManiaDegengod had ended up losing to Angela 5-1 and is now sent down to the loser bracket as a result of that. And whoever's going to win this match is going to have to face against Cycle in the conditionals. Who's going to be making it out of this match today? I'm going to be your commentator, Epic2, and I'm going to be joined alongside Poppy for this time around. How's it going?
Hi guys. Well, yeah, like you said, this one's one of the more interesting losers bracket match, I think. Like you said, Zerk did get out of their last round in the tiebreaker, so barely surviving. Let's see if they can manage to hold on in last 16 in a, I would say, much more difficult map compared to last round. Whereas we're gonna be seeing whether or not, whether or not DegengOd can hold on, try to survive after unfortunately losing in the winners bracket. So looking at the chat right now, does seem like DegengOd winner role gonna be protecting.
Yeah, ManiaDegengod going to be winning, rolling a 46 over ZerkXU's 19. Pretty much straightforward. I would imagine that, like, at least glossing over the statistics from the previous round, that ManiaDegengod definitely has a lot of room to work with when it comes to this map, because of the fact that you can kind of see that there was a bit of a discrepancy between the scores of both these players, especially within the LN category, which is arguably going to be ZerkXU's kryptonite and going into this round in particular. So ManiaDegengod probably feels confident enough to go into anything, and by that statement I made, they will be going for LN1 as their protect. Makes the most sense in my opinion.
Yeah, my own personal knowledge, I guess, DegengOd is like very consistent when it comes to LN pure accuracy. Maybe a little bit less consistent when it comes to Rice, but still, he's got a fairly consistent scores throughout the previous rounds. I would say, on paper, he might have the upper ground against Zerk, but you know, let me see how Zerk actually try to fight on. Especially, maybe I would assume that they're gonna try to hold on the Rice maps as they protect Rice 4.
Yeah. Rice 4 makes sense to protect. It is fairly difficult because of how dump-oriented the map is and the consistency that is practically required going into this one, as ZerkXU will respond with an LN-free ban of their own. Makes sense. This is one of the longer LN picks, so I would imagine they want to try and minimize the pain as much as possible, especially going into the LN category, which is probably going to be where they're kind of faring a little worse, as EX1 gets banned in response by ManiaDegengod. Overall, very sensible bans. ManiaDegengod probably banning EX1 more because it's like probably a weakness to their own, just because of how difficult the map is as opposed to everything else that we have in the Rise category, as ManiaDegengod will be the first in line to pick.
Very straightforward and sensible bans, like you said, as DegengOd picks Hybrid 1. I would say LN3 is like very easy to show with how like it transitions between shields and burst, whereas EX1 is just a plain physicality check, which I guess both of the players doesn't want to touch too much, but gonna enter to our Hybrid 1 first off the bat. Gonna be a very straightforward streamy hybrid map by our trigger.
Yeah, Duplicity Shade, I feel this pick on paper is pretty much fine to start the match off. I mean, it is definitely the middle ground between some of these other maps that we've seen, and especially understanding ManiaDegengod, they pretty much are very flexible as a player, and so is ZerkXU, albeit they seem a little stronger on Rice as opposed to LNs, but they're still able to tackle hybrids like it's just another thing. It's just that the scale cap is definitely going to be coming into factor when it comes to this map because of how difficult it is in contrast to the previous weeks. So I'm not particularly sure how ZerkXU is going to be scaling going into this weekend, as the map pools are going to continue progressively getting even harder each time. And, you know, this map basically being no stranger to that of difficulty as well. There's a lot of really difficult bursts and whatnot of the like. Some coordination elements thrown here and there, some jump streams that can be pretty hard nick and tuck. to be able to act. But so far, both players are off to a pretty good start. ZerkXU has the rough end of the stick, but that's going to grant ManiaDegengod the first 1,000 points of an advantage so far.
Holding on pretty well from both players, yeah, like you said. But oh, some accuracy drops from the side of Zerk early on. Gonna see a rush up 200, maybe 100 as well. Getting the 99% range early on first quarter. Holding the FC, but already that accuracy difference, a full percent basically, is gonna give DegengGod 7,000 score lead. And we're not even in the diff spike yet, I would say. The second half of this map does make up for that stamina aspect. Zerk has to careful because this map gets a little bit more intense as you enter that first break. Okay. That is an unfortunate miss, and another one. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 misses to start the map off. Or at least going past the first third of the map is definitely a bit of a signal to send, as ManiaDegengod will have the upper end of the stick for the time being. Definitely going to punctuate their scoreline a lot further. 2 misses now in their favor in response, but not going to be determining anything for the time being, as there's already quite the cushion that DegengGod himself has to work with here. As you know, we go through a lot of these sections. There's still a lot of stream hybrid oriented sections in the map as well. There is this section which is like kind of light as a jump stream oriented, but DegengGod's gonna find yet another miss of that. I do think this is the point where DegengGod's gonna have to start being careful, because if the fatigue starts to kick in from here on out, then this is definitely going to be making matters a little worse for them, even while ZerkXU is already kind of faltered quite a bit, to a point where, you know, DegengGod could very easily just take the map as is and run away with it. But if it does come down to more mistakes from DegengGod, then it's basically done for him.
I just see 3 misses coming in from DegengGod there, but those misses were like the cleanest misses of all time though. Like, still having a full percent above Zerk's accuracy right now. Sorry, despite finding a little bit more dirty misses in the mid though. It is 1 less combo break compared to DegengGod, but like that accuracy difference alone is just giving DegengGod a very, very substantially 23k. DegengGod even missed once or twice, I think, for anything to happen, and that's gonna extend with Zerk finding more misses in this final section. This is why I meant like the second half is much more stamina draining. DegengGod just seems to have slipped up their fingers or something finding misses, but those few misses from Zerk at the ending does seem like a little bit of a stamina issue. Still, 98.3, 9.5 is like, the 944k is pretty solid. Like, map was hard, but ManiaDegengod with 3 grades is just okay. Unfortunate to see an XD show, kind of. But yeah, the accuracy from DegengGod is crazy. That's going to give them the first point.
Yeah, and by quite a substantial amount as well. I mean, you don't normally win on maps like this by 34,000 points. But then again, this is still early rounds for the tournament either way. Round 16 is the place where the conditionals start to really start flourishing, as DegengGod will get 1 point in their name for the time being, while ZerkXU going to be next in line to pick, and they will immediately opt in for Rise Free as well, the Core Jack pick. Yeah, I suppose it's like an okay pick.
I guess just trying to do a stamina check for ManiaDegengod. Because, well, Core Jax is like a mix of can you ratio and can you hold stamina. In lower bracket especially, I would say that stamina aspect does matter a little bit more. Some players might start to struggle on consistently hitting all the jacks for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
So, maybe? When it comes to stamina, it's hard to say, because Core Jack on itself is like, it's like a different category compared to other Rise picks, so we have to see.
Yeah, indeed, we will have to see, because like, I think one of my main sources of intel kind of just came from Rise Free in the previous week, where ZerkXU did play this one in match, and they managed to get about 982k, whereas I know for a fact that DegengGod is really strong when it comes to the ratio side of things, but it seems like they will instead take the first miss. However, contrary to what I was saying, just throw it out the window. It seems like all I was saying is pretty much irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Okay, never
This
mind
map has a
then.
lot of code potential.
Oh.
Look at this. With how many free node anchors this map includes, it's very easy to find misses from time to time. But Zerk does find one back there, but I think he's gonna miss once again, so. Both players actually not having the best combo game, but the accuracy game ended up being fairly close. And it's actually going slightly towards ZerkXU right now, but finds another miss though.
Yeah,
It's getting close.
Yeah, it seems like this pick is not safe for either side, as both players are just consistently tripping over a lot of these patterns. I mean, this is at OD 8.5, so slightly tired than last week, and 145 BPM with this kind of OD is definitely no slouch either in terms of difficulty, in terms of how much consistency you require to be able to ratio a map like this. As you know, going into the final quarter, DegenGod will take the next drop, and that's going to swing things right back to the favor of ZerkXU for the time being. 4,000 points in favor, 5,000 now, but there's still a lot of time in the map, and that's kind of the issue because of the fact that there's not really much else that ZerkXU can do, but DegenGod takes 2 misses to their name, and that's basically going to accentuate the score so much better than before for ZerkXU now. Probably looking the best it's ever been since, the start of this match.
Yeah, I think repeated misses. I feel like, yeah, it's just that miscount that ManiaDegengod has been getting that just was unable to match that stamina aspect, maybe. Actually, quite a big lead. Like, even with better ratio from DegenGod, it was unable to take the first breakpoint because Zerk was able to combo much better than him. So
yeah,
actually, this is very much in favor of Zerk in terms of Rice, Jack at least. So 1-1. This could get interesting.
Yeah, this is already quite a bit of a bold impression that Zerk is setting on, because yeah, this is a pretty big score. This is a pretty big difference in terms of seeding that we usually see this early down in the losers bracket. But the fact that ZerkXU just somehow took a point from DegenGod going off the miss capabilities alone is definitely going to send a signal, as DegenGod will then opt in for LN1 Troublemaker, as they still have a lot of options, and I think this is probably the best time to bust out some of these LN options, considering for the fact that ZerkXU could probably struggle on them. However, they have shown that they are able to play on them, so I guess my intel is kind of volatile in this regard, as, pretty much this map alone is definitely going to be one of the longest maps we have in the entire map, barring some of these boss picks that we have. But 3.5 minutes of roll coordination and whatnot, of light timing hell over a map like this it's not easy whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's far from easy even.
I would say, yeah, this map is the second longest map if you're not counting EXN TV. I think the longest is obviously Rice 2. Being the drum stream pick. This one is only a few seconds shorter, if I remember correctly. Gonna be Dick Allen coordination. This is DegenGod's basically main skill set though. I know, LN1 being the least physical map in this entire map pool probably. So he's gonna be able to maybe hold on a little bit better compared to Rice 3, for example, and it seems like he's much more consistent when it comes to the accuracy game-wise, 9.8 early on, whereas it's the same case as Hybrid 1, Zerk is pulling behind by a full percent, and another miss that's going to make that lead even bigger, 11k now.
Yeah, falling behind by a lot more now, going with another miss in their name as well. 18,000 points quickly and swiftly in the favor of DegenGod, going past the first quarter. There's still a lot that the map has to offer, really. I mean, we're only just, one course in, going to the second verse and whatnot, but this is already quite a big lead that DegenGod has accumulated thus far, and, if it does end up staying throughout the rest of this map, then they may as well be able to take this one with a good shot. There's still a lot of these patterns that really demand for roll control, considering for the staggered releases that we have here that are basically flammed in their own right, and it's only with, 1/8 or something. And that's basically what can be so troubling about this map alone.
Troubling, yeah. In Troublemaker, okay. This map is, like you said, a lot of... If I remember 1/6 as well, other than 1/8, it's very, not 1... Yeah, 1-6 and 1-4 LNs, if I recall. There's a lot of very short LNs that just suddenly come by that is gonna be like very 200 bait, but from what we've seen, DegengGod seem to be holding them very well. 99.79, basically 99.8 still. Just gapping Zerk's accuracy so far with 98.2. Like, 2/3 of the way in, the lead is already gaining almost towards 50k.
Absolutely, there is only really a quarter left of the map alone, but from what we've seen so far, DegengGod has basically been shining so well throughout this map alone, even with a lot of the really odd kind of LN patterns that are incorporated within this one alone. DegengGod's been making his work due with these patterns alone, and even with some of these shorter lens as well, just still somehow being able to act through a lot of these, as that's basically going to be a very easy victory for DegengGod if this does go successful for him. I mean, they've still not even dropped throughout the entire map, and you know, maintain 99.78% accuracy on a map like this, which is, you know, so long and daunting to play, even with so many more misses to boot from ZerkXU, it's only just going to add fuel to the fire, as DegengGod will be getting their second point. Unfortunately, a little too late for ZerkXU, but they've done well. They did what they could.
Yeah, I've never seen like the accuracy not move this much throughout an entire map in maps like LN1, where you cannot expect players to be a lot more unstable. And why is it stable? Because it's a V1SS. Oh my god.
Are you serious? Dude, what? How? Oh my god.
This has to be one of the top scores of this round. C27 gonna be taking a 993k. Bro. I don't think I've seen a score higher than this. I mean, sure, we're just like the second day basically, but dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is, as ZerkXU will reverse things back into the Rice category with Rice 4. Yeah, I'd say this is probably the best time to bring out their Protect. I mean, this is still early in the match, so there's still a lot that they could really do, as this is now a first 6 best of 11 type of situation going into this matchup alone, but there's still a lot that both players can really try and work with. I know DegengGod is still fairly capable within the Rice category alone, let alone some more technical Rice maps, but based off of the performance that we've seen from the Rice Free or Korjak pick is... yeah, I mean, there's still like a lot of information to be desired, but maybe ZerkXU is potentially hiding something up their sleeve and only willing to let out their ace as soon as a pick that's well within their favor comes out.
Yeah, I have to see how DegengGod would perform in non-Korjak picks, because, well, this map, I would say, is also much different than Rice 4, this one. Jaden's very awkward tech play, a lot of 152 BPM anchors, long jacks-ish. Not long jacks, but like 3-note anchors in the middle of the map. Gonna be like the main difficulty source of this pick alone. 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Does come down to the very precise finger control ability between the two, so they start off with very similar accuracy, slightly towards ManiaDegengod, but trying to miss as I say that.
Yeah, the first miss coming out from DegengGod, very early blood on the nose of the ZerkXU right now, still maintaining onto the FC, albeit still getting some of these misjudges here and there, which are going to add a little bit of a dent into the score, but not major enough to be able to swing things back just yet. 6,000 points is quite safe based on all the maps that we've been seeing so far, but that is a lot of rushes that we can be seeing on a variety of these pairs as well. This is nothing short of abrasive when it comes to what you usually expect of Jaden's parents, but DegengGod with another miss to boot and a third one as well is only going to make matters a little worse, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, finding repeated misses again a lot of these Rice maps, unfortunately. Gonna drop their accuracy all the way back to 99.3. Zerk was dropping a lot of accuracy as well below DegengGod's 99.5 at first, but then the misses came in, and now score lead is only more substantial towards the right side, as ManiaDegengod finds another one. 20k lead there is now.
Yeah.
There's still one more part, but It's hard to come back already, 20k.
Yeah, this is the score lead that we've been seeing on some of these other picks beforehand as well. So the fact that ZerkXU is being able to reflect that and replicate it in a map like this is only going to put a bit of a deficit into the score, as DegenGod still has so much to be able to try and work with going into the final quarter and, you know, the final 8 for the map. But unfortunately, it seems like time is already running out for them on this very fourth pick of the match. ZerkXU coming in with a very dominant victory of their own, finally to try and at least balance things out for themselves. They basically looked at DegenGod right in the eye and told them, it is my turn in the Xbox. You've had your victories already, and now it's time for me to take a very strong one of my own. 6 misses in the favor of DegenGod, and had it not been for those misses alone, it definitely would have been a lot stronger and could have definitely taken this map by storm. But unfortunately, ZerkXU with the FC alone is only going to be able to run away with it, as the score is tied once again at 2-all.
Zerk's getting the FC is very crucial for them to win, like you said. Without the misses from DegenGod, even with one extra 200, it likely could have been a win for him because of the sheer ratio difference. But nonetheless, the 6 misses is there. Zerk is going to be able to take their second point as we go into hybrid 3. This is going to be fun.
Daring today, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Bring it on.
Hybrid 3. Every week's hybrid 3 is only gonna get more and more finicky and gimmicky. It's only gonna get more and more risky. This one being the first ever hybrid 3 in this tournament. It's already a lot of weird bursts in the middle. That's where I would say chokes can happen. Because we've seen ManiaDegengod not being the most consistent when it comes to rice burst consistency, and that middle part has a lot of rice, I would have to say. But there's a lot of LNs in other than that one part, so mostly it's still on favor of DegenGod. It's just the middle section. Can DegenGod hold on their lead if there is one?
Yeah, I mean, that is the name of the game, isn't it? I mean, this is a map that pretty much demands for your accuracy to be at an absolute all-time high, no matter what. DegenGod with the first drop once again, that's only going to make things worse for them, as even then, ZerkXU had a really rough start on the map itself, as we can see. Not looking very confident, but that one miss from DegenGod is only going to cut the score into only a fraction of what it is. It's like if you were to cut your cake into only getting, what, 1 inch of any flavor or any taste at all. ZerkXU chokes a little bit more, but that's only going to make things only slightly better for DegenGod until that miss came.
Yeah, but okay, here we go. Let's get in. Both players trading misses early on, but here's the rice burst I was talking about. This is where might favor Zerk a little bit, but we have to see. And these like little mini trills are very chokeable. That is a very dirty miss from ManiaDegengod, but traded by Zerk immediately with a much dirtier one. Accuracy difference, it's again a full % difference in favor of DegenGod again. After the first half, there's still a little bit more of grace technical things that has to appear that DegenGod still has to maintain their 12k score lead with. There's one final 1/1 of the map left. Can they hold on the full % accurately? Because, you know, in a lot of choke bait-ish patterns like this, it's not the most stable.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very far from stable, as we've seen it throughout this entire matchup alone. Now, both these players, whenever it came to anything that was remotely difficult in the map pool, or, you know, when it came to incorporating both categories, it's always just one above the other when it comes to at least one factor, and in which for ZerkXU, it's really just trying to be a little more consistent. Like, even if it doesn't come down to the accuracy alone, it does come down to the combo, which is definitely one of the strongest things you can aim for, if not for accuracy alone. But unfortunately, with this map alone, it was looking very tight throughout the middle part. But with all the misses that had come ahead, ZerkXU with very consecutive dirty drops one after another. This is only 2.5 minutes, so literally no time you have to waste if you really want to be able to win on something like Stockmuff, as 3-2 is the score now for DegenGod in their favor and at their disposal. it's definitely going to serve as a very crucial point as well, as this is one of the riskier picks to make on this map pool alone.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a lot of potential for missing. Actually, miscount wise, DegenGod takes more, but like that sheer accuracy alone was enough for them to take their third point. But Rice too, just keep on pushing the physicality check that DegenGod may not be having. Because if you're talking about the most physical Rice, other than EX1 of course, which is gone, it's banned. Rice 2 is probably the most physical one.
Yeah. I mean, this is 250 BPM jump stream for 3 minutes and just about 40 seconds, so no wrong you can really go with this one, as this is also very wildcardy in its own right. I mean, it features a lot of very jump drill, split drill oriented parenting as well, on top of the variety that it tries to pursue within jump stream parenting alone, so which does beg my concern for this pick coming from ZerkXU, because, you know, looking at some of these other jump stream, looking at, you know, last week's jump stream map, for example, they both played on, you know, L4 ATS, but there's a really big discrepancy between the score by about, what, nearly 30,000 or something in the favor of DegenGod, who got 10th on the leaderboards for that map alone. So this is why I'm kind of like skeptical about this pick coming from ZerkXU in particular.
Especially when, like, I would say last round's Rice 2 is also lost stamina draining. This one is probably a little bit less, but with the fact that it's much faster, it could also cause Zerk to start dropping a lot of accuracy alone. And, you know, DegenGod has been struggling on anchors, but this one doesn't actually have that many anchors compared to the other picks, so they're actually having a pretty good time for actually both players. It's just that these are going to be having a slight accuracy lead compared to Zerk's 9.5 with 9.83 so far.
Yeah, indeed. Going past the first quarter, there's so lot of the map that is left. You go into this section, which is definitely a little more upbeat. There's still a lot of trails and a lot of anchors, missed trays from both sides right off the gate, but ZerkXU is... Okay, that was a really dirty one that I saw right there. If I've seen any, that's going to put a very big detriment in the score for the time being. And DegenGod will get another miss to boot. Unfortunately, only going to neutralize the pain once again. Only canceled out by ZerkXU's double miss again.
Yeah, this part is where, like, Rhino maps a lot of awkward split trails, and missing would only result in an unclean miss. With repeated misses there, gonna give DegenGod quite a big lead despite missing twice in that section. Zerk finding 3 or 4 misses if I recall. Gonna struggle level on the accuracy side as well, 98.85 back to that, whereas even with some few misses that DegenGod has gotten, still at 9.6 gonna grant them 10k score lead, but we are only halfway, like I said. So this map is the longest non-EX or TV pick. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. We are still yet to see a lot of chokes to come. Yeah, another miss from DegenGod. That does shrink the lead by a little bit, but finds a miss back from Zerk. It's neutralized again to 10k that we saw earlier.
At this point, it's like they were literally listening to us. It's like whenever we talk about misses or chokes potentially, they just keep listening and they just keep dropping on purpose or something like that, where, you know, it's 20,000 almost, give or take, in the favor of DegenGod now, based on all that ZerkXU has bled on the crime scene, but only 1/4 of the map left. There is some hope of coming back potentially. I mean, based off of DegenGod's performances throughout this match alone, whenever it came to some of these more strenuous maps alone, but it's like, this does come back as to why I thought this was a bit of a shot in the dark from ZerkXU. It's like that one image of LeBron, like, shooting a basketball from the moon into the earth or something, if you've seen it.
I've seen it. That's
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just finding repeated trades over and over again, so that does favor that player with the accuracy advantage, which definitely is on the side of DegenGod. Zerk's misses were definitely much more dirty, like this one for example, just below the 9% for a long time now, whereas DegenGod, despite missing, is still able to hold 9.4, but the map is going to end up with our first breakpoint. DegenGod, despite missing a bunch of times, that ratio is still crazy. Why do you have more misses than grades, bro? What?
I have no idea. All these players, like, it's just insane. Coming to think about it.
Commendable work from Zerk. Unfortunately, not gonna be enough to match the accuracy. 200 count land ratio definitely favors DegenGod. With 2 less misses as well, DegenGod gonna be taking their first breakpoint. This might be the one push that DegenGod was looking for. One breakpoint might be all they need if they have been very dominant when it comes to LNs. But you know, we have to see if Zerk can try to come back on LN2, for example, being the more physical LN pick, I guess.
Right on cue of LN2, bro. That's crazy. I like how you literally like shifted the conversation about LNs and then all of a sudden DegenGod just busts out the LN2 right away. Like it was literally coming home or something, but that said.
It's pretty. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he would pick this one, I guess, because, well, like, if he has that very strong accuracy lead when it comes to Hybrid 1, which is less LN heavy compared to this one, when it's full LNs, we've seen Zerk struggle a lot more on the LN accuracy side. So LN2 is, like, very logical, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I would imagine that LN2 overall, like, has a lot of potential as a pick. Definitely one of those maps in the map pool that I'd imagine many players would feel at home with because of how it addresses a lot of the density patterns and, you know, sticking to most other tropes from many other turns when it comes to how LN density is addressed. This is basically one of those LNs that has a lot to offer on its play, and, you know, going into this one serves as a really crucial situation for both players no matter what, as ZerkXU has 2 points to win. They're gonna have to be forced into winning some breakpoints, or potentially 2 of them if it does come down to, you know, DegenGod picking something that's more within Zerk's favor or the tiebreaker even, because ZerkXU did go into tiebreaker last weekend as well and managed to win off of that. So yeah.
For TV to happen in the first wave, we would have to see ZerkXU at least take a breakpoint back. Has to be either this one or the next one that DegenGod will be picking after Zerk's pick. So, like, it's whether or not Zerk can step up their game when it comes to LN accuracy, which they are definitely not having that accuracy lead compared to DegenGod right now. Still almost a full % difference, but, you know, if we can catch misses from DegenGod, that lead could still shrink by a little bit. Like, some of these, like, Grays LN flams-ish, 1/8 first, can be a little bit chokeable, but DegenGod holding perfect accuracy so far. 9.75 is very, very strong.
It's going to be quite the mountain to climb for ZerkXU just based off of some of these sections from earlier with, you know, some of these embedded 1/8 streams and bursts that are definitely quite taxing to play at a tempo like this at only 200 BPM. I mean, this is average length for mid-game LN density by extension, but the fact that we incorporate those as well only adds to the absolute hell that is going to be the difficulty later on as we go into this next course. Some more bursts to be seen, and this one's going to be throwing in some more coordination elements there. Zerk is going to choke finally once again. Final quarter of the map is the boot, final third, and DegenGod has now accumulated quite a substantial amount of points to be able to make it out of this one without much issue. It's just, it really comes down to DegenGod just maintaining consistency all throughout this final section, because as long as they get that, then they are basically done for this pick. There's no coming back for ZerkXU if this does go to match point.
Yeah, DegenGod is gonna get away with still a 99.7 FCing this ending. Is he gonna be able to FC as well this final ending? Can be a little bit chokeable, but does it? I mean, there's like a long and very long outro, but there's not anything left in this map other than just a few residue LNs. Zerk with 98% once again did what they could, but that accuracy game definitely not there against DegenGod's 990.5k.
Yeah.
Insane ratio once again.
It's really difficult to be able to at least try and stand up to the task of facing DegenGod on a lot of these kinds of maps, really, especially in LN, for example, which is an entirely different story in its own right. I mean, you know, different offer and whatnot, but somehow still the same story that we be seeing as DegenGod has now approached the match point, and they're gonna have to. And if anything, ZerkXU picks carefully. Will be opting with Rice 1. This is gonna be their make or break mode because this is all they have left if they want to be able to try and stay inside the Capcom Cup tournament. Because this is down in the losers bracket, of course, which is definitely quite a bit of a scary sentiment to have as well. Because how are these players just really good at map pool, and yet somehow they're both down in the losers bracket? They're basically fighting for their lives at this point.
Yeah, both players have done an incredible job, especially DJengod on the L-ends, whereas Zerk on the right side also very, very strong as well. Being in the losers bracket does mean that if you lose, you are out of the tournament. So Zerk definitely has to try to come back, not just on this one, their own pick. They have to win DJengod's next pick following Rice 1. This one being the speed pick. We saw Zerk being just a little bit less stable on the Rice stamina consistency. This one's less stamina heavy, but you know, speed pick is still very, very physical. So like, gonna be interesting to see how they do it. Do you see Zerk actually having the accuracy lead so far? But you know, the main dish is still yet to come. When the 1/8 streams do come by, I would say that's where the main accuracy drops are gonna appear.
Indeed, very early moments for this map alone. 2 minutes and 42 seconds. The potential final pick from ZerkXU. Their final breath they will be fighting by, as DJengod has only a few hundred of points in their advantage now. This is a lot different from all the other maps, I want to say, just because it was very nick and tuck throughout the first quarter of this map alone. But now going into this section where we go into the main nitty-gritty of the map alone, ZerkXU finally drops a little bit, but it's only without a miss until I just decided to mention that right off the dome. A miss finally comes out from Zerk, 8,000 points in favor of DJengod, and this is going to open up for probably one of the worst situations that Zerk could probably throw themselves into, because this is only the back of the map that they have to work with now.
Yeah, just unfortunately finding a miss there might not look that hot for the side of Zerk, but we still have the second half. We still have the main difficulty TI section yet to come, but into a little bit of a build-up section, DJengod is still having the point-free accuracy lead with 9.75. Zerk has to hope for misses from DJengod for anything to happen, really. But ooh, okay, as I say that, this I summoned it again.
Perfect timing, man!
What amazing timing! But okay, here we go. Here we go. This is where the TI section come in. Finding a miss again. Wait, this is getting close. Accuracy difference though. Ooh, oh, find some
finally try it out. Try it out again.
We are spamming misses now. This is getting really close, but that is a very ugly miss from Zerk. That just pushed to the left by 10k. That might be it.
Zerk is just pushing the bar for trying to do their absolute best, but unfortunately these pairs are just a little too much for them. Great split here and there, misses everywhere on the board, and unfortunately at the end of the all, DJengod is going to be the one making it out with this matchup alone. 17,000 points and a 967. I should not have said that. 262 points. What a score that is. It's a 6-2 lead, a 6-2 victory in the favor of DJengod that's going to knock out Zerk off of the Capcom Cup and advance right on to the conditionals against Cycle. What a match this was, as there was a lot of insane maps and situations here and there, but there's still so much yet to be desired of this weekend alone, as there's going to be a plethora of matches that we still yet to see, really.
Gonna be taking a second break point. DJengod with that accuracy once again taking the 6 points. 6-2. Gonna move on to the conditionals against, I believe, Cycle 1264, who is seed 22, 23, something like that. Yeah, 20 something. So that one definitely much closer in terms of seeding. Yeah, 22. Okay.
Yep.
We have actually one match going on literally right now, which is pretty interesting. Wait, are we switching? I got word that this is like very close to TV as well, which is like crazy.
Wait, this is also really close to TV? Wait, ain't no way, right?
Oh, it's now free to free, and they're Hybrid free. Okay, so oh my days, we're close matches back to back.
Well, blow me down. There is still a lot of matches we still have to look for. Duckys versus Iscz is never going to be a cure for the Iscz if I've seen any. So number 77 is going to be... Alright, so looking at the match alone, it seems like, to recap some of the decisions that have already been made, LN2 and Rice 1 protects, LN1 and Rice 4 bans as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the MP link right now. In terms of LNs, they actually have been very, very close. Like, they have been consistently getting like 950 to 960k scores on the LN hybrid side. But it's always going to be slightly in favor of ICSZ. They actually won in LN3 by 287 points, which is interesting. But we're gonna get in, I believe, our 7th map. Yeah. Hybrid free. And we're back to hybrid free again. Oh my days, okay.
Yeah, we are right back into the swing of things as Iscz is going to take the first miss. And that's only going to punctuate the scoreline for Duckys as well. They still have a lot of the map to work with, but having that early advantage is definitely going to solidify their placement throughout the rest of this map alone. If it does come down to more misses from Iscz, in which it does happen for, you know, one instance, that's 2 misses that Duckys has in their favor. If Iscz wants to be able to recover that, then Duckys going to have to take some really detrimental drops going throughout the remainder of the map, but there's still a lot of sections that definitely warrant it, like that one Rice-focused section as well that's in the middle of the map. I mean, we'll have to see how both these players do with it, but that's probably food fuel.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, the stream patterns are back. This is actually in favor of Duckys by quite a bit right now because of miscounting alone. This is ICSC specs, I think. Yeah, it is. So this is all the breakpoint pays if the score doesn't change, but I mean the section, what, they miss at the same time.
Wow.
Wait, what?
All right. Okay. Sure. Why not?
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Literally nothing happened. What? Both players just neutralized themselves at the very perfect millisecond, but Ducky is unfortunately not going to allow themselves to reach the combo cap, while Iscz now has at least some room to breathe with. Potentially, if it does come down to Ducky is missing a little bit more than they would probably afford, then there's a lot of potential that Iscz has to be able to make do with this map alone.
Yeah, well, it's still very much in favor of Duckys, though. This might be the breakpoint early on, but as I say that, finds a miss. Wait, that is a very dirty miss. Hold on, the score is actually going... Oh.
The reverse shields.
Dude,
no freaking way.
It just disappeared. it just disappeared. It just went to 12k. Okay, well.
Amazing.
Ending is very LN heavy, and that definitely went in favor of ICSZ. ICSZ is... whatever.
I just pronounce it as Iscz. I mean, that's probably just me. It's probably just me and like my really baby-fied Polish coming in, but I don't know. I think that's just how I usually go about it.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's like those like Polish words. No, but he's not Polish. You know what? Not my problem.
Me neither.
that ending switch though. That ending switch though.
Yeah. Also, can I just point out the amount of grades that Iscz had gone on that map earlier?
Which one? Not this one.
Yeah, they literally got 69 perfect. No, 69 grades on this. Nice.
Their act is pretty similar actually. Ducky's with better ratio, but like 8 more grades. But ICSC having less grades but more perfect. But you know, miscount went towards ICSC, and we're back to Core Jack. It's like the same. Mm-hmm. It's like the same maps that we saw in the other match.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Core Jack picks are historically gonna be one of those picks that most players will usually try and opt in for, that maybe somewhat on the safer side of things. I mean, this is down in losers bracket. Whoever is gonna win off this match as well is gonna have to face Combo Gaming over in the conditionals based off their 6-0 victory against Unstabilism from earlier on, a upset, mind you. So maybe Combo Game is probably looking at this match right now and probably just snickering as to what decision they could be making against either of these players here, but that's not really of their concern right now because they're facing each other going into Rice Free. The Core Jack pick, Akin Baby, is one of those maps that is really difficult to be able to act consistently, especially at OD 8.5 for 145 BPM jumps. No, Core Jack. What the? Core Jack? Yeah.
Core Jack, yeah. Definitely see. I think Duckys having the upper ground accuracy once again. Seems like Duckys do have that upper ground when it comes to Rice consistency, but oh my god. Okay. No more combo, but I mean the accuracy difference is still definitely in favor of Duckys. So 1k score lead is not stable at all. I keep cursing. Oh my days.
It's okay, we all. I mean, thankfully the curse is reverted as Iscz misses right on there, but that's only going to be just by a bit. There's definitely a lot of potential for another miss to come by in the detriment of one player here, but at the same time, we're going to the back end of the map. Going into the next course is definitely going to amplify potentially any of these mistakes that are to come about of any player that is on the board right here. This section going to be lighter, but as soon as we go for some of these bursts, we go right into the swing of things again. 8,000 points in the favor of Duckys. He needs to hang on for dear life. They want to be able to try and get that point because right now it's only for 2 maps after this, and then we're going to have to go tiebreaker if it does come down to both players being this knit and tuck with each other.
Yeah, Duckys finding the miss, gonna be capitalizing off of that now. Like both players missing ones, so now it's back to that accuracy difference between the two. 12k score lead in favor of Duckys, despite the miss, is able to keep their almost 99.8% accuracy, 99.77 so far as they enter the outro of this final part. 986.8k despite the miss is absolutely crazy. Oh my god, it was almost an SS as well. Bro.
A V1SS choke with 1 miss in the favor is... I think had it not been for that 1 miss, this probably would have been like around 994k if anything. So that's quite a big loss for Duckys, but they still won with this map no matter what. So, you know, at least they have something to brag about potentially as... But then again, the options are thinning out bit by bit. Only 2 Rice maps, 1 Hybrid and 1 LN remain on the board as there's still a lot on the board to be desired. And LN2 is the next pick coming from Iscz. That's... Ascension to Heaven. Yeah, I know it is that map, but it's like, yeah.
LN2, I would say, I guess, a more straightforward pick again, because again, it seems like Iscz has just basically been going for the LN side of things. So Ascension to Heaven, probably a logical pick, but this one is like the least LN heavy, or like LN control, because again, density usually favors a little bit less for LN players compared to, in comparison to LN1 or LN3. It's still, this map alone still has a lot of like release LN control factor, but it's definitely less felt compared to like LN3 or EX2 that they played.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
See how they do.
Yeah. LN2 is... I mean, I have been saying this in the other match, but it's definitely one of those picks where it's, like, very competitive for all those that are very comfortable playing it. I mean, I know for a fact that Duckys is very well capable when it comes to LNs nowadays. I mean, I'm not as entirely sure for Iscz because I'm not as familiar with them as a player, but I know that I think if I was to look at some of these scores real quick, doesn't seem like Iscz played in last week's rounds, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm
no
just
information whatsoever.
Oops. I'm just looking at like this match alone with like the past maps. Because there's an MP link. Because in terms of LN3, ISCZ won by 287.
Oh,
That's all there is, and they won by 4,000 on the Iscz. Like, it's very minuscule amount when it comes to LNs, and as you can see, it's actually Duckys that's having the accuracy lead early on in the first quarter, with the right side being only 99.0.
yeah, maybe it does boil down to some of these parents in terms of the direction that they take being somewhat discomforting, but even then with that final burst, the final stretch of that section only just really amplifies the score a little bit for Duckys. That's just about 9,000 points. You have this calm piano section. Iscz has the back of the map to work with, and it's definitely going to have to be one of the most important points they have to work with, because if they want to be able to try and avoid tiebreaker, then they really will need to try and at least opt in for doing their absolute best. If it does come down to Duckys choking in the final drop, then that's only going to make things a little better. But at the same time, we've seen from all these other LNs that both these players do not have a very objective advantage on any of these maps whatsoever, or at least within LNs.
Yeah, not much difference when it comes to LN accuracy between the two. This one, it's actually Duckys that's popping out with a slightly better accuracy difference. CYC is only holding at just below the 99% mark, whereas Duckys is still holding 9.4. Both players holding the full combo, but when both players are holding FCs, it's gonna favor the one who's holding better accuracy so far. We're having not much map left. If nothing goes too wrong for either players, this might be the first breakpoint that we see. Final burst, but 15k lead is just way too substantial. Actually, this is going to be the first breakpoint we see.
The first breakpoint of the entire match, and no better time to bring it out than on this pick, which is one of the final picks that Iscz had. So right now, 5-4 in the favor of Duckys. If this was last week, they would have just won outright. But now the extra maps that were added, there's literally just so much more that has to be worked with. One more pick, and it's gonna have to be from Duckys, and it's on Rice One.
Yeah, Rice One. I know Duckys is the speeder stream player. This is gonna be a tough task for ICSC. ISCZ. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is quite. It might be an uphill battle for ISCZ.
I mean, I think this is a good pick from Duckys overall. I mean, this does reinforce his capabilities within Rice alone, and speed is definitely quite a subcategory of its own when it comes to how difficult it is to be able to remotely act. And with how volatile Fronte had made it in this map alone, it only adds fuel to the fire, as not only provides us food for the side of Duckys to just go into this map and potentially use that as the final nail in the coffin for Iscz in this turn, because this is in the loser bracket once again. If it does come down to a loss here and there, or whoever loses in this matchup alone is only going to proceed and into the conditionals tomorrow against Combo Gaming, like I've mentioned earlier. But was that a miss?
Oh. That's an interestingness.
No, that has to be client, right? There's no way.
What?
Dude! Why are you missing that? Okay. Amazing.
Oh, we're having an amazing start. Welcome to Cat Cup. Yep. Okay. Well, I guess the misses are negligible, but actually no, that miss from ISCZ is actually somehow a little bit dirtier, I guess. But accuracy difference gonna be favoring Duckys early on with already a 0.5 lead. This map again. I think every pick that we've seen in this match has played in the last match as well. This one gonna be again mostly difficult in the Ki section. But I mean, this early section is also like fairly difficult, but Duckys seem to be holding on very well, whereas ISCZ gonna be falling just a little bit behind with 99.1 to 99.2. 6,000 scored towards left side as we enter halfway through.
Precisely. Still a lot that both players have to work with here. There is still an entire half the map remaining. Just about under 2 minutes, or just about a minute and a half, really, to be able to try and work your will within this map alone. But there's still just one drop left that's going to amplify the difficulty to all the most extremes that it can. And it's just going to have to try and do their absolute best with that. But oh my god, the grace that I'm seeing. They're painting the walls green with blood right there, as it's going to be 30,000 points in the favor of Duckys right now. And going just before the choruses. Not the best sign, in my opinion, honestly.
Iscz just finding multiple axie drops, so many 200s in this section. The kind of rolly sections definitely did not favor them, dropping a lot of 300s and 200s below 99% range. Not holding FC because of the early miss, but like that combo is still similar, but like Duckys with that almost full percent advantage, and gonna be seeing an actual miss in the Ki section from Iscz. That might just do it. 30k score lead. There shouldn't be any time left for Duckys to really catastrophically mess up. Yeah, the struggle with accuracy back below the 9.7 range, but you know, that it was just one miss at the very beginning, and then that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Iscz not going to be able to have the brightest day with this pick in particular. They were so close to a tiebreaker. But this map alone just really proved to be the absolute worst option that they could have gone into from the pick or the clutches from Duckys, as that's going to be 6-4 in the favor of Duckys, making it out into the conditionals and therefore knocking out Iscz off the Cat Yum Cup for the time being. 988k on a map like this is no slash whatsoever, and definitely really strong for a mid-range seed player that we have on the board here, as per usual, as, you know, 6-4 going to be the result of this matchup alone. Pretty much everyone knows how this one's going to be going. This is insane. Damn.
Yeah. I wonder what could have happened if they actually went TV, because it's definitely possible. So, well, in another universe. Maybe in another universe we will see a TV match, but not this one. Ducky's gonna be taking the win here, 6-4. Very strong rise scores from Ducky's. Very strong LN hybrid scores from Iscz as well. I just realized he asked us to name him Iscz, but match just ended. Oh wow. But yeah, unfortunately, we do see Iscz being eliminated here. But they have done a very, very strong performance at seed 41. Gonna be knocked out in round of 16, round 1, unfortunately. But still, very, very commendable work from him. And for Duckys, he's gonna go on to fight against Combo Gaming. Okay, wow, you prepared more than me.
I mean, I just knew it from the get-go. I mean, I was alluding to it earlier on the match as well, so I just kind of like remembered off the dome. But yeah, I think that's one. I think that one's gonna be really interesting to see as a match. At least having seen Combo Gaming's performances throughout the tournament thus far, which have been definitely no slouch. I mean, there's definitely information that both players have to work with when they face against each other, but definitely imagine that's going to open up for a really cool matchup over here in the conditionals, as, you know, we still have a lot of matches to boot as well. Looking at the schedules, we have one more match at 10. It's going to be Carlotta Montini versus Spaghetti. So I believe this one's also in the losers bracket.
It's in 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, it is in 2 minutes. Yeah. Lol. Then we have a little bit of a break until the rest of the matches for today. Just like about 2 hours or so. But yeah.
I guess maybe we will switch commentators. I think we will.
Yeah, I need to. I need to chill for a little bit. That's pretty
much
what it is. Yeah.
Same.
All right. But yeah, it should be good. Anyways, there is still. All right, so 1 minute. I think it's pretty much safe to say we can close off this stream as well, or like transition commentators while we can.
All right, yeah, that's. I guess the other commentators will join in right now, I guess, but yeah. That is gonna be it about me. Epic Man 2 and me, Poppy.
So yeah, once again, this has been Epic Man 2 joined by Poppy, and we will catch you later as we completely swap commentators. See you all later. Bye bye.